The metaphysics of Tantra is that everything from the cell to the universe to the macrocosm is making love. Everything has that dance of the masculine and feminine, the plus and minus charge. This thing that looks solid is made of atoms and is made of cells that are vibrating. Everything in the universe vibrates. Even the hardest, densest rock and diamond have a level of vibration in the cells. So, when we start to understand how to work with the energy, we start to understand how to step into a deeper perception of who we are. So the metaphysics means that, let's see, on the left is the symbolic representation of Shiva. Shiva is the male archetype, the masculine consciousness. And on the right is the symbolic representation of Shakti, the feminine goddess, the creative force, the energy. And these two beings are one within us, at every cell. But our dualistic mind sees them as something separate. And so we don't understand that actually everything that is conscious, Shiva, is also energy. Every form of energy has a consciousness, and everything that you perceive is alive, awake, and responsive because it is consciousness responding to your thoughts. It's not out there. It's in your consciousness. I know that this may sound strange to some people, but once you go into this practice, it becomes very clear. So you don't have to believe anything I'm saying. I'm not here to convert you to be a tantric. I'm just here to share the teachings and my experience. So you don't have to believe me. What Tantra says and yoga says, don't believe anybody. Experiment for yourself to figure it out. It means you are the laboratory, the scientist, the experiment, and the results. In your own yoga practice, you have all that at your access to get the answers. So what I say, if it hits a nerve and says, that sounds weird, please just do me a favor and keep an open mind. Come with an empty cup, because if you already know it all, I can't help you. So just put everything aside and receive, and then you can evaluate at the end, all right? And you can do the practices and see if they work for you. But if you come thinking, well, this is not exactly what my religion teaches or what my parents taught me or my school taught me, there's nothing going to get into you this weekend. So stay with that open mind, please. So this is the polarity of energy, and that's the main practice of our working with the body, energy, emotions, and mind, is working to balance practice, our energy. Hatha yoga means what? Who here does yoga? Raise your hand if you have ever practiced yoga. Some. It doesn't matter if you don't practice yoga, it's okay. We all have energy, so we can still deal with it. Ha is sun and ta is moon. Masculine and feminine. Hatha yoga is all about balancing the energy. It's become this cult of the physical where it's all about stretching, and actually it's all about energy. And the body is the manifestation of the energy. So this is what we're going to learn to work with in a few minutes, okay? How do we deal with the energy? Now, that's the union of Shiva and Shakti, the masculine and feminine. And we're all that. Every one of us has masculine and feminine in this. And the ultimate path of yoga is that complete balance of masculinity and femininity. There are masters from India, and they even say Jesus and some of the other great teachers were men or women, but they had the opposite qualities as well. So if you look into some of the pictures of the masters from India, you can see that they're men, but they have a very feminine quality as well. And they say that actually the ultimate expression of humanity, of a human being, is androgyny, which means it's that perfect balance of masculine and feminine within one being. Any questions about metaphysics?
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Are we born in duality and then, or are we born in non-duality, we learn duality and then we have to achieve non-duality?
Well, we have to find out from the baby, that one. But we are born, we all have that unity, but the mind is the veil that covers the eyes to see the truth. So according to the tantric teachings, it's a game. It's a divine lila, a play, a theater in which we are to discover that not only are we the actor on the stage, but we are the creator of the whole play. So we have duality, but we are underneath that duality all one. So we are born one, but the mind, and then of course we come into an experience that keeps impressing upon us duality. Okay. So that polarity of energy is the key. And we're going to go into that in just a moment. And the good thing is this happens at all the levels of the human being too. We have polarity in different parts of our bodies. Now the yoni is the beautiful Sanskrit word for the female genitalia, for the vagina. And it doesn't mean vagina, which is a very technical word and doesn't sound so poetic. Yoni means sacred space. This is the place from which all life is born. And every woman has this sacred space within her. And Tantra teaches us to honor the female form as the manifestation of the physical world. At the male level, we have what's called, instead of a penis, a lingam. And that means the wand of light. It's like I have a lightsaber from Star Wars and really feel powerful. So there's a negative charge. The woman has the negative charge at the level of the yoni. She's receiving. The man has the positive charge. He's the one giving. So we put these two things together and what do we get? Union, balance. So even at the physical level, the physical body, it's an amazing creation. We have been created to match our polarities at different levels. The female heart is positive, giving, compassionate. The male heart is negative. I don't mean negative in a connotation way, like it's bad, okay, right? Plus and minus charge of energy, like a battery. Everything has it. I'm not trying to blame you guys, all right? I'm a guy too. I don't blame myself. But the understanding is that now we start to take that energy, right? It comes out of the man's lingam into the woman's yoni, up to her heart, because it goes from negative to positive. That's how energy flows. And from her heart, it goes into the man's heart and back down. And we create what's called a microcosmic orbit. And that's something we're going to work with a lot in these teachings. How to circulate that energy within yourself, but also with another partner. And that's what helps us to come together at a subtle level. So not only are we physically united, we are also energetically united, which then can also, with this microcosmic orbit, start to create an opening at the level of the heart for the man and woman. Because everything in this universe is energy, right? Right, Jason? So understanding that, our thoughts are energy, our emotions are energy. So we can start to remove these emotional blockages with energetic practices. That's how cool this science is. You know, maybe you had heartbreak, maybe we've lost family members, or there's been illness in your life, or someone that you care about. And we start to build a wall around the heart to protect ourselves. And in that moment, it's valid. We need that to help ourselves feel that we're safe. But as we get older and we build that wall thicker and thicker, it starts to prevent the good things from coming in and the good things from going out. So how do we remove those blockages? Well, we can sit for therapy, and that is also beneficial, talking to someone. And there are many modalities of healing. But this is the modality of healing yourself by releasing energetic blockages. And those energetic blockages then manifest as physical illnesses. So we go right to the energy. And if we have a problem at the level of the heart chakra, and we're going to go into chakras, then we can go right into doing breathing into the heart. And you can breathe into any chakra and start to remove the blockages. It's all about what you can do for yourself. The amazing thing is what is positive in the male body is negative in the female body, and what is negative in the male body is positive in the female body. That's the creation that we have been given. It's genius. So people say, well, what about same-sex couples? Like I said, they still have masculine and feminine energy, positive and negative, yin and yang. Doesn't matter. Anybody can join this party. Any other questions about that? Okay. Now, the yogis teach us, and I've already said this like 10 times, that we are more than the physical body. We are also energy, emotions, mind, and even a fifth, spirit. So we have 5 bodies they talk about, and they call them koshas, or layers, different vibrations actually. It's the same being, but I have different vibrations. This is the thickest, densest, slowest moving vibration. Then I go to the next subtle, and we're going more and more subtle through the bodies. So the next subtle after the physical is energy. Then more subtle than energy is emotions. Then more subtle than the emotions is mind. And we have a technique, or various techniques, that work with all of these bodies through the science. Now here's a picture. The 5 koshas. At the bottom we have the physical body, and they have Sanskrit names. Don't worry about that right now. If you're a yogi, you can maybe know that already. But this is the understanding that when we do our yoga practices, it's not only about the physical body, because so many yoga classes and teachings and even trainings focus only on the physical body, and they're only scratching the tip of the iceberg. We are an infinite being, and if all we focus on the physical body through science of Tantra, the only thing we'll keep our level of consciousness is at the physical level. So in order to evolve through the science is to understand that you are these bodies wrapped in one, not wrapped, it's actually the energy body, and the other bodies expand outside of your physical body. But we have access to all of them through the science. That's the beauty of the science.